Hello, I'm Anne Bartlett and I'm walking in the Cotswolds. In fact, I'm on a footpath above the Regency town of Cheltenham and I'm looking down on a stunning view. I'll show you that view in a minute, but I can make out Eagle Star Tower, a great landmark in Cheltenham. I can see the distinctive spires and towers of the different churches there, and I can even see the bridge over the River Chelt, which is a footbridge and cycle path. And way in the distance, I can make out Gloucester Cathedral. Now, Gloucester Cathedral must be about 10 miles away as the pigeon flies. Now, stick with me on this one. Pigeons feature very much in the history and development of Cheltenham. And I'm going to go into Cheltenham and I'm going to do some videoing. And so, come with me. We'll go and explore and discover Cheltenham together.
There you are, the view of Cheltenham spread out before you. It's in a sheltered position tucked below the Cotswold escarpment. In fact, it's old enough to have been recorded as a settlement in William the Conqueror's Domesday Book. Then it was a tiny village centred around an ancient parish church. It probably would have stayed that way had it not been for a flock of pigeons and a poorly King George III. They changed the town's fortunes and put it firmly on the tourist map in the 18th century. It was in a field here, where the Ladies' College now stands, the pigeons were seen pecking salty waters that were bubbling up from an underground spring. The locals discovered that these waters, which had a distinctly unpleasant taste, eased a surprising number of illnesses. The owner of the field, realising that he was onto a good thing, built a well over the spring, installed a pump and had a canopy built to cover it. It was known as Old Well. The well was only of local significance until 1788, when a poorly King George III was recommended Cheltenham waters. He came here with his family and stayed for 5 weeks, giving the town the royal seal of approval. The old well was renamed Royal Well, and the rich and famous followed, transforming Cheltenham from a small market town to a fashionable health and leisure resort. The spa grew so rapidly that accommodation had to be provided, and an entirely new town was built in the Regency style, which, as you can see, is both elegant and decorative. This is the Royal Crescent, with its whitewashed terraces and decorative ironwork. These were lodging houses. Jane Austen and Sister Cassandra came when Jane was suffering from an illness, probably Addison's disease. We're not sure which one they rented, but it was close to the Royal Well, where she would have drunk her morning glasses of medicinal spa water. We're looking down the promenade, which was laid out in Regency times, and I'm pleased to be able to show it to you without the traffic and crowds of shoppers. This would have been the carriage drive down the middle, and here's the walkway, where ladies in their long dresses, wearing bonnets, gloves, and probably carrying a parasol, and men with their top hat, tailcoat, breeches, and walking cane would promenade. These fashionable people could meet with their friends and see and be seen. This was their opportunity for new friendships to develop, a chance to flirt, to find an aristocratic husband or a wealthy wife, to show off new clothes and be entertained. Cheltenham Spa became known as the merriest sick resort on earth. At the top of the promenade you have the Queen's Hotel. As you've probably guessed, being completed in 1838, right at the beginning of Queen Victoria's reign, it was named in her honour. It's a wonderful example of Greek revival architecture. Just look at its 6-column Corinthian portico. The Queen's is just as grand inside, and is an elegant and very convenient place to stay when visiting Cheltenham. You may be curious about the large black rectangular cast iron plinth in front. It was made to support one of a pair of Russian cannon seized during the Battle of Sebastopol during the Crimean War. During the Second World War, the cannons were removed to be melted down for munitions. On the other side of the road is the entrance to the Imperial Gardens. We're standing in the middle of Imperial Gardens. situated between the shops of the Promenade and the shops in Montpellier. These gardens have been here for 200 years. They were originally ornamental pleasure grounds for the exclusive use for the visitors to the Sherborne Spa, which is where the Queen's Hotel now stands, and you can just see it behind the trees there. The perimeter of the gardens is where fashionable ladies and gentlemen rode or promenaded to show off their elegant clothes or their latest carriage pulled by fine horses. There have been changes of use over the years. Now they are for everyone to enjoy, and they are a favourite place to walk or relax, and you'll see many people here having picnics during their lunch breaks or just sitting and enjoying Cheltenham. These armless ladies, or Caryatids, are some of the town's most important features. Caryatids have a great pedigree stretching back into antiquity. The most famous are the 6 that support the Erechtheion on the Acropolis in Athens. They may very well have served as inspiration for Cheltenham's fine set of 32 that you can see holding up the shop lintels on the right-hand side. This is the Montpellier Pump Room, now the Ivy Restaurant. In Regency times, medicinal spa waters would have been dispensed here. Evening entertainment was laid on by a master of ceremonies, and the grand ballroom beneath the domed roof, now an excellent bar and restaurant, was where dances and concerts took place. Off to the side were rooms for playing billiards, for reading and for playing cards. Gambling was an accepted Regency pastime. Men and women gambled, often for very high stakes. These shops, with their distinctive architecture, were laid out for the spa visitors and are as popular today as they were then. Cross the road, and in front of you are the Montpellier Gardens. Here are more pleasure gardens, where the Regency Spa set promenaded, and as you can see, they continue to be enjoyed today. The gardens were once home to a glass house filled with exotic plants, a Chinese pagoda with integral bandstand, and an ornamental fountain. Sadly, these are no longer here. However, the gardens continue to delight and surprise us because they are the venue for our festivals: music, literature, science, food, and health and well-being festivals. Cheltenham has a wonderful heritage, and it continues as a holiday town today, so do come and visit us soon. There are lots of things for you to see and do when you visit. Cheltenham is surrounded by wonderful countryside with a variety of places nearby for you to explore during your stay. You can visit their website, www.visitcheltenham.com. I hope that you have enjoyed my short video about the story of Cheltenham. If so, do give it the thumbs up. I shall be making more videos of towns and villages that I particularly like to take visitors to see. I'm Anne Bartlett, Blue Badge Tour Guide. My website is www.touringexplore.com.